So tonight we're going to start with the ice cream sandwiches. I'll start getting the graham crackers ready. So you see the graham wafer here? So how we're going to do it, we're just going to break it in half like that. Does that sound good? Okay. Oh, and I forgot to spray the pan. I'm going to do that instead of using wax paper at the moment. So I'm just going to put 2 down here, and I'm going to do the same thing, break another 2, break another 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have melted half a cup of peanut butter. Half of the graham wafers you're going to spread with peanut butter. And we use the underside. And we actually got a lot of peanut butter left over, so I'm not sure how thick they must have put it on there, but pretty thick. And then I'm going to spread the other half with melted chocolate chips. Well, like I said, we've got a lot of stuff left over, so we could probably make some more. Usually those recipes that you get online are pretty good, but for some reason they're a little bit wacky. So you only need about 1/4 of a cup actually. Double the batch, so I can make 8 servings actually. Take me a little bit longer, but that's okay. But rather than go to waste, I'd rather do this. You could just spread it on another layer of peanut butter and another layer of chocolate chips. So however you wanted to do that, that'd be perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to put it in the fridge for 15 minutes. Once that chocolate and peanut butter is sparked up a little bit in there, the ice cream sticks a little bit better to the ice cream sandwich. There we go. So now we're going to start the next recipe, the yogurt cheesecake pie. So we're going to crush 8 whole grain wafers plus another 2 in a plastic bread bag or Ziploc bag. So I actually bought a 408-gram box of grain wafers. And so I've taken one of them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in there. It's going to give us, roughly speaking, the right size of crust. So that's good. And then we're going to crush those up so they're really fine, like pie crust. There, you can see kind of how I've got it in there. So then we're going to melt the 1/2 cup of butter. Put that in the microwave. So we're going to put that in here. And then I'm going to stir it up with a fork. Just an ordinary fork will do. With this, the number of wafers that we have, we're just going to put it on the bottom of these 2 9-inch pans. So we'll just do this. And it doesn't have to be too thick. So we'll just have it on the bottom, so it'll be more like a cake with just a bottom on it, rather than a pie. So you can see I'm just patting it down. So it's kind of on the bottom there, just all the way covered the bottom. I think that's enough. I think that'll be perfect. And I'll do the same with the other one. And I'll do the same with the other one. So they're both the bottom layers there. I think that's enough. I think that'll be perfect. All right, now we're going to mix up 2 cups of yogurt. And it's not necessary to wash out the cup every time because it's just got butter in it, so it's not a big deal anyways. Now we're going to add 2 cups of blueberries. We're just going to put them into the blender. So we've got 2 cups of berries and 2 cups of yogurt in here. So now we're going to add this to this layer. And then we're going to add another one to layer to this. So we've got 2 pies made. Shake this out a little bit like that. You can see what it looks like. Do the same with this other one. That's good. Put it away in the freezer. And that's just perfect for 2. So yeah, it's good. What I'm saying is find a level piece, a level area in your freezer to put those so that they freeze evenly. And then since our 15 minutes isn't up yet, we're going to do the other layer with the cream cheese. We're just going to put them into blender as well. We're going to get 2 cups of yogurt, white vanilla yogurt, and I don't have to add sugar. Now, if I were to just use plain yogurt, you might want to add maybe a tablespoon of icing sugar to the mix if you want a little bit sweeter. If you don't, then that's okay too. Now, this stuff has been frozen because you can always freeze yogurt, so it's a little bit more liquid. So that's why we're going to start it early and then let it set up a little bit before we put it on the pie. So we've got 1 cup of blueberries left for the top. And then you take a 8-ounce, 250-gram container of cream cheese. Take the carton off of it so you can see what it looks like. Slice it like this, just into a bunch of the smaller pieces. It's going to be kind of gooey, that's okay. And then we're just going to put it all into a blender. Okay, so now I'm going to put it in the fridge. Let it set up. And we're going to let the rest of those blueberries thaw. We're going to get the wafers out of the fridge. You can see what they look like. They're just half and half. Now, if you like, you can put a little bit more of the chocolate on there, help the ice cream stick a little bit. And it just use up the rest of the chocolate chips. I've had the ice cream out here to thaw. So I forgot to mention that at the beginning. I said we need to have the ice cream out so that it's thawed out. I have Neapolitan ice cream, so we're just going to put that on there like that. A small dollop of ice cream on. And I left it a little bit too long, which is kind of a little bit gooey almost. I guess because we made that other recipe. So it doesn't have to be melted, but yeah, it's not too bad. We're going to put it right back in the freezer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Okay. Because I left them too long, I'm just going to squish them in here. See that? Well, they look pretty good. And now we're going to put them in the freezer for about an hour. And we'll finish our cheesecake pie. They haven't quite set up, so you'll have to be careful there. And then put on the cream cheese onto that other 2 pies. And we're just going to put it on gently. Then we're going to do the other half. You can see I'm just kind of go around in circles. So we kind of just all got them covered up. And then spread some of these blueberries that are kind of still frozen. And these are wild blueberries, so they're not as big as the big blueberries, but they're still going to taste okay on that pie, so it's going to be good. Probably don't need a whole bunch. 1 cup just kind of sprinkle on top. Looks a little bit better on the top. Another time when you're making it or whatever, if you want to leave it so that they're frozen in between, then that would be good. And then we'll do the lemon zest. And I'm actually using a lemon that I froze because I don't like wasting anything. Probably a regular lemon that had been frozen would have been the best thing to do, but I've not one for wasting, so this is what kind of happens. And then we'll just sprinkle a little bit on here. Just kind of a little bit of a lemony flavor on there. Same with this other one, looks pretty good. So there we go. Like I said, it'll look a little better if we waited until all this stuff was frozen. Show you guys what it looks like. I'm just going to put them back into the freezer. Okay, now I'm going to just cut up the rest of that lemon that we had. Just slice it up. Now it's nice and juicy because I've had it in the freezer. So and it makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slices. And I'm going to put most of them in a bag. Just a little storage bag. I'm going to put them all in there except for one. And then we're going to put that into a cup of water. And we're going to put this back in the freezer. And then I can use it for another 8 glasses of water with lemon in them. And then I'm going to do my dishes. And then we'll have the vision workshop afterwards. I am going to present you with a vision workshop that I do as a life mastery consultant and a dream builder coach. My name is Louise Beasley, and I am a certified dream builder coach, life mastery consultant with Life Mastery Institute. And I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I was born on a farm at a small community in southern Alberta, Canada, and I was the oldest child of 3 to 2 hardworking parents who grew up in the early 1900s. My mom was a one-room school teacher and later a substitute teacher when I was growing up. My dad was a cattle rancher, farmer, and a big equipment operator. Worked away from home most of the time, so my mom had most of the farming and that kind of stuff was left up to her. So we had hired men that she cooked for, and then she looked after overseeing the farm as well. And then, like I said, my dad worked away from home quite a bit of the time. When I got to be old enough, maybe 12 years old or something or other, then I was able to help mom by driving tractor and drive the rest of the equipment. And I used to irrigate the fields, and we did all that by hand. And so I would have a shovel, and then we make dams and divert the water all over the place so that it irrigated the crops. I learned as a young girl how to ride horseback. I just was kind of the hired man. It was just me and my sister at that point, and my younger brother wasn't born until 14 years later. And so, yeah, I just took over helping my dad and my mom and working with the cattle and helping with the farm. When I was graduated high school in 1973, I went to Switzerland with my cousin I chaperoned her. And so we spent 5 months in Switzerland at the American Fashion College of Switzerland. And that was an unforgettable experience. I'll tell you at another time. I said we saw lots and experienced so much. It was so much fun. And then I came back to Canada and started out at the secretarial school. And then about 10 months into the schooling, I got a phone call saying that my dad was sick and that I needed to come home and run the farm. So that's what I did from June until November when my dad passed away from cancer. And so then I stayed with my mom and my younger brother, who was, like I say, he was 6 years old then. So 14 years younger than I was. So I was 20. At the young age of 20, I was running a farm, looking after the cattle and irrigating, and I had to fix machinery. I had to learn how to fix the machinery, but I had some really good people to help me. So it worked out really well. I got married, and I'm still married to the man that I married to begin with. For 44 years, we've been married. And our closest neighbors were 10 miles away. So we were kind of out in the middle of nowhere on our own. And so, but we raised 4 children out there, and I volunteered for the next 32 years, different things: librarian, photography teacher, community kitchen coordinator, volunteered for hall boards, and I was the president of the Historical Society. So, like I say, we did 2 homecomings for the community where we had over 1,000 people come. We put together 3 local community history books, and we made pies. We made 300 pies in a day. We did that for about 10 years. There was about 10 of us get together for the community. Then I raised 4 children and did outside and inside work with them. And I found out after I had my first child, that I became allergic to cows and horses and cats and dogs. So living on the farm, it was a little bit of a challenge. So for the next 44 years, I wore a mask, just like we're wearing now, to save myself from getting asthma and getting really, really sick. Sometimes I drove myself into the hospital because my husband was too busy out and about, and got my breathing under control, and then I would go back home again. So it's a different way of life, but I mean, it is what it is. So that's kind of what I've been raised in. And I loved where I lived. I lived over by the Badlands of Dinosaur Park, and it was a beautiful piece of country. And I loved what I was doing, helping out on the ranch, raising our 4 kids. And yeah, I was happy. I just wanted to, give you a little bit better idea of who I am. And there's some part of you that we have things in common. So I just want to say that you've made a great decision to be here today. And my intention is to leave here knowing the 3 tools that can help you achieve your goals and dreams even faster than you imagined. That you'll have greater clarity on what those dreams are, and you'll feel even more confident in the power that lives within you to achieve your goals and dreams. Now, to do this, I'll share with you a story which I hope to take the first step. A mother mouse was leading her 3 children through a house when all of a sudden they came around a corner and see a cat. The cat is about to attack. The mother mouse says in a loud voice, stands up on her hind feet, and she says, "Ruff, ruff, ruff." Cats get scared and run off. Mother mouse turns to her little babies and says, now that's the power of language and learning a new language. Today, we're going to be looking at the language of success. There is a pattern, a system. Once you consciously understand what this language is, you can apply it to any area of your life that you want to improve. Raise your hand if you've ever done anything in your life where you didn't exactly know what was going to happen in the end. 90% of us raise our hands. That's a good thing. So how many have ever achieved a goal or a dream in your life that when you first had that goal, you did not know how you were going to achieve it? Yeah, that's about another 90% of you. See, that proves a point. that you are far more capable than you know. What I've learned during my many opportunities of speaking to people throughout my lifetime, that we are sometimes have challenges in our life that we are facing, and those goals and dreams are born out of those challenges. And how many of you have had a challenge that you're currently experiencing? Some area of your life that causes you pain, perhaps in your career, relationship, perhaps in your health, or with the amount of money you have, or the lack of time. Keep your hands up if you would really love to have that problem solved. We live in a universe that speaks our dreams and goals to us through two signals: our longings and our discontents. The feeling of longing for something we haven't yet created, and the feeling of discontentment with current circumstances. These feelings are what spark us to grow. You can be pushed by pain, or you can be pulled by a vision. These two energies, the pain of your problem and the burning desire for what you want, are essential for creating new results. So, what made me turn to becoming a life mastery consultant and a dream builder coach? Well, about 3 years ago in August, I was home here in Patricia. My husband was in Manitoba because we have a ranch in Manitoba as well as a ranch here in Alberta. So I have two houses to look after. And I just happened to be back here in Patricia for some reason. I was thinking, like, what in the heck am I going to do with the rest of my life? Like, I'm really not needed on the ranch anymore, and they don't need me. And my son and his family are looking after the ranch here in Alberta, and my husband has a hired man out in Manitoba. And I can still cook meals and those kind of things, and which I do, and I run errands and those kind of things. But it's still, I wasn't using my brain. So I thought, oh man, I need to do something to keep my brain going here. I'm only 63 years old, and I could live another 3 or 30 or 40 years. So you know what? I want to have something in that I would love to do. But I didn't know what that was because I thought, I don't like crafts. I'm not a crafty person. I've never, I've always been busy doing something, helping in the community or something. And then this community that I'm living in now, there's a lot of young people, so they don't need us older people to do any volunteering. So I thought, well, what in the heck am I going to do with my life? And then just out of the blue, I got a phone call that evening. And it was from a senior coach for Mary Morrissey. And she said, would you be interested in doing some coaching, helping others, like maybe helping others build their dreams? And so I said, well, where did you find my number? Like, it seems like it's out of the blue here. And so she said, well, we're connected with Natalie Ledwell, who's did Mind movies. And she said that you had just graduated from her course. And I said, yeah, oh yeah, I guess that's what happened. Yeah, that's good. Okay, well, now I understand. So now, yeah, I'd love to help people. And yeah, coaching sounds like a really good idea. So she talked to me a little bit more. And then she said, there's a TED Talks YouTube movie Mary Morrissey has done, because she's the co-founder of Life Mastery Institute, which does the Dream Builder program and the Life Mastery Consultant program. And it will give you a little bit better idea of what she's all about and if you want to join us. So she said, I'll phone you back in 24 hours. And so I said, well, what's the cost of this program? And she said, well, it's quite a bit, but she said, you get a year's program and then you get all the training comes with it, and Mary's support, and she gives all of the lessons and those kind of things, so that all the scripts, so that you just have to learn the scripts eventually, and then you can coach. And so, yeah, it sounded really, really good to me. So I hung up and I listened to the YouTube video, and I actually cried through most of it because it touched my heart, the experiences that Mary had been through. And she just sounded so caring and Like she really, really wanted to help whoever was going to join her and all of the people that she'd helped over the past 40 years. So the next day I thought, you know what? I am going to do this. The night before I was so scared and worried and I thought this has caused me a lot of pain and a lot of heartache. And I need to do something with my life. So, yep, that's when I decided that was what I was going to do. And I have never looked back. I said, I've been with the program for the last 3 years, and I've learned so much about myself and about other people's faulty belief systems and those kind of things. And so it's just been the greatest experience for me. And even though I'm just beginning to start coaching now, I have grown so much in the last 3 years. And it's made such a difference in my life so that I'm happy. I'm happy who I am and who I am becoming. And my friends have noticed a difference in me. I'm much more self-confident than I ever used to be. And twice a year I've gone to Los Angeles, excepting this last year. So a year ago, I went to Los Angeles and I did training. And we're with 200 other like-minded women and men. And it's just such a wonderful environment to be in. And so I've never regretted it. And so now that's what I'm doing. I'm living out my dream. I've got clients. I've had 3 clients so far, and I love helping people. It just feels so good to be able to help people with their pain, get rid of their pain and talk about their feelings and things that I can help them with. So it's just a great thing. And I said, I'm so glad that I made the decision. So, like I said, I made a decision that my life was going to change, and because I didn't want it to keep on going the way it was, and I wanted to be of some use to somebody. So, in the Dream Builder program, there are 10 principles that will skyrocket your success when you apply them in your life. Today, you'll learn 3 of these principles that you can apply right now to help you create a life you absolutely love. So if you're in for the possibility of creating something that even more amazing in your life, touch your heart and say, I'm in. If you just said, I'm in, does that mean that from this moment on, all of your dreams will come true? Of course not. It's just the first step. Here's my promise to you. I'll give you everything I can in the next 30 minutes we have together. And at the end of this presentation, many of you will want to take this information further and integrate it into your life. And I have a very special gift for you that you're going to love at the end of this presentation. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen handy, I want you to write this down. It's called the results formula. Now let's learn how to expand our awareness for success in this area of life that matters to you. There are 4 major domains of life in which we experience our results. Our health and well-being, number 1. Number 2, love and relationships. Number 3, your vocation or what you're passionate about. And number 4, time and money freedom. Every one of you has results in each of these areas of your life. The results you're getting in your life in these areas are a perfect reflection of your awareness in these areas. So let's expand your awareness together by studying the pattern that creates your results, or what I call the results formula. The formula looks like this, and write this down. Your thoughts cause your feelings. Imagine the thought, I've lost my wallet. What happens when you think that? You feel fear and stress. You're wondering trying to remember all the things that you had in that wallet. And then you have another thought. I wonder what could have happened to it. I wonder if it's in my purse. No, not in my purse. I wonder if it's in my coat pocket. Or in my pants pocket. Well, I better go and check. So you go and check, and it's there in your jacket pocket. So what happens when you think the thought, I found my wallet? Man, you feel relieved. Now imagine the thought that you've got a hot date with your husband or partner for Friday night or a friend. And what happens when you think that thought? How do you feel? Excited? Thrilled? Enthusiastic? Happy? When you think limiting thoughts, you feel limited. When you think expansive and confident thoughts, you feel more confident. Your thoughts literally affect your physiology. So your feelings cause actions. So write that down. Feelings cause actions. Your feelings are expressed into your actions. When you feel confident or energized, you take different action than when you feel depressed, frustrated, or sad. Make sense? Your actions cause results. Write that down. Actions cause results. It's our actions or lack of actions that create our results. Follow me? Your thoughts cause your feelings. Your feelings cause your actions. And your actions cause your results. This is the law of cause and effect. Yet most people don't get this. Most people look at their results. They look at their circumstances, their conditions, and they call those their causes. Actually, they usually call them their B causes. I can't start a new career because I'm too old, or because I've lost all of my benefits, or I can't find the love of my life because I'm not young enough, I'm thin enough, or attractive enough. I can't do this because. The true cause of all our results is right there. Your thoughts, up here, your thoughts. Your results are caused by what you have been thinking. So if you want to know what you've been thinking, look at your results, because your results never lie. So if you want to create a new life and new results, then you must begin by looking at your thinking, where your thinking comes from, how your mind creates a thought. Some people resist this concept. They don't like that their life is a result of their own thinking. Yet it's absolutely true. This brings us to the first secret of dream building, designing a dream. This is a famous quote regarding vision goals. So, where there is no vision, there is no hope. George Washington Carver. And setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. That's a quote by Tony Robbins. So, what do you want? What would you love in your life? Write this down. Clarity is power. Without a clearly defined blueprint, you cannot build your dream. Just like you must have a clear blueprint if you want to build a house, the same is true with your dream. When you become clear on what it is you really want in life, you begin to see opportunities, circumstances, and resources that you would have otherwise missed. So let's design the blueprint for your dream, and let's make it crystal clear. Consider the 4 domains of life: your health and well-being, your love and relationships, your vocation, and your time and money freedom. For our purposes today, choose one area that you would love to improve the most. So we are going to unlock your imagination with this single question. What would you love? Imagine like you did when you were a kid, where nothing is impossible. No dream is out of reach. Dream big. Notice that it is very different compared to the question, what do you think I can do? Or the question that says, what does my current
situations say I can do, or, and this is a very common one, what do other people think I should do? So for a moment, just lean into the question. What would I love in this area of my life? I'm going to take you into a process called the time machine. Imagine you are getting into a time machine and traveling 3 years into the future. And 3 years from now, everything you wanted completely worked out. Take your pen and a sheet of paper, and across the top of your page, write, I am so happy and grateful now that. In a moment, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write down what you would love in this area of your life. Suspend any urge to figure out how this result is going to happen. Right now, this is simply what would you love? As if someone gave you a magic wand and you could create exactly what you wanted. So dream big. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Now we're going to take 2 more deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Imagine it's 3 years from today and all the challenges that you're having are solved. Consider what you would love for your life. What great things are occurring for you? If you couldn't fail, what would you love to be doing? What experiences are you having? Who are you with? See it. How does it feel? Feel it. Now open your eyes and take 2 minutes and write as much as you can, painting a beautiful picture of the life you're imagining. Okay, time's up. Nicely done. We're on our way. This is the beginning of designing a dream you would love. I know you might not know how this dream is going to happen, and that's okay for now. Great dream builders are willing to suspend the need to know the how at the beginning of the process. Don't worry, we will get there. Now that you have a start of a clearly defined dream, let's move into principle number 2. Deciding for your dream. Best-selling author and renowned life coach Bob Proctor says this: there is a single mental move you can make, which in a millisecond will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation you will ever encounter, and it could literally propel you down the path to incredible success. We have a name for this magic mental activity. It is called decision. You must make a firm decision for what it is you want before you will bring your dream into reality. No new process can begin and no new path can be forged until a decision has been made. But once you make a firm decision, even in the absence of perfect conditions, a whole manner of things begin to occur and rush to your aid for the fulfillment of that decision. So I'd like to tell you a story about a woman that took the Dream Builder program and then went through this process. This is a story about Judy, a single mom with 2 kids who went through the Dream Builder program. Her situation was most likely very different from yours, yet the steps she took are exactly what you can take to achieve your dream, no matter how big your dream is. Judy didn't have much education. She worked in a fast food restaurant during the day and did alterations as a seamstress at night. She lived in a tiny 1-bedroom apartment with her 2 children. Her dream was to have a home for her family. Judy came across a program like the one you're in today. She decided that if she was ever going to change her life, she needed support. So she took a huge leap, made a decision for her dream, and enrolled in the Dream Builder program. This was a tough thing to do, but she got up her courage and made a decision to change her life. She told her coach her dream was to own her own home, but she only had $500 a month for rent. She believed there was no way she could ever buy or even rent a house for $500 a month. Her coach asked her to describe the house she dreamed of. It was a struggle, but eventually Judy did come up with a description of her dream home. Whenever she told the coach exactly what she wanted, she would then say, but I only have $500 a month. I can never get it. It's impossible. Knowing how dreams can come true, Judy's coach said to Judy, now that you have a mental picture of the house, go out and look for it. Judy thought this was crazy and told her coach, but I only have $500 a month. I can't get a house for $500 a month. Well, the coach encouraged you to look anyway. Well, after 2 weeks, Judy called her coach and said excitedly, I found my dream home, but it's $900 a month rent, and there's no way I can afford that. Had Judy been on her own, this would have been the end of it. And to this day, she still might be living in that tiny one-bedroom apartment. Her coach, on the other hand, knew the language, the mindset, and the questions to ask. So the coach asked, Judy, if you didn't know it was impossible and you really thought there was a chance, what would you do? At first, Judy couldn't accept this premise, but after a week or so, she thought, okay, what would I do if I thought it was possible? And she got the answer. She would write a letter to the owner and explain her situation. In her letter, Judy described 40 things she personally would do to improve the house if the owner would rent it to her for $500 and provide the materials to fix it up. 3 weeks later, she got a call from the owner, and he said, I don't know why I'm doing this, but something in your letter just won't leave me alone. Here's the deal. You sign a contract outlining what you'll do every quarter, and I'll let you live in the house for 1 year for $500 a month. Judy immediately called her coach and told her with a giant smile on her face, we're moving in 30 days. I'll have my dream home. Isn't that a wonderful story? Let's give Judy a big hand wherever she is now. High five. The story doesn't end there. Over the course of a year, Judy did everything she promised the owner she would do. Within 3 years, Judy owned the home. Her dream had come true. And she learned a new way of thinking, thanks to her coach. That new way of thinking also got her a new career. Judy started her own home-based business and got to spend more time with her children, and her income soared as well. Her life had a whole new meaning. What about you and your dreams? It starts with making a decision. It starts by saying to yourself, today's the day I'm going after my dream. Today's the day I say no to the doubts and reasons it won't work, and yes to the possibilities and opportunities. Today is the day you're going to suspend belief in conditions and instead believe in the power that's breathing you. And to really do this brings us to dream building principle number 3. How can you handle fear? Doing the thing you really want to do, even when fear rises up and tries to stop you. Dream building principle number 3, befriending your fear. Make fear your friend. Great dream building requires the ability to suspend knowing how and taking action in the absence of all the answers. When we decide for a dream, there's a part of us that says yes, and then there's another part of us that rises up and says, yeah, right, that's not going to happen. Or the voice that says, and how are you going to do that? You've never done that before. Or, who do you think you are? You don't have what it takes. You're not smart enough. That's a voice of fear. It's a part of you that wants things to stay status quo. Often, fear will disguise itself as practicality. Fear won't say, I'm here to kill your dreams. It's too smart for that. It will say, I'm here to keep you safe. I'm here to make sure that you never have to experience that level of pain again. I'm here to make sure you don't ever get embarrassed. It's the voice that says, now is not a good time. Wait until later. Or you don't have the money for that. That's irresponsible. Or you don't have the experience or the credentials. Who are you to have this dream? And it's the part of you that asks, what if you fail? Okay. So what if you do fail? How many of you ever have had a failure in your life? Well, you know what? We all have. When we were babies, we all started out as non-walkers. You rose up and then you fell down. But what did you do next? You rose up again and you fell down. When you were learning to walk, you never once did you think to yourself, well, that's it. I guess I'm just not meant to be a walker. I'm going to crawl for the rest of my life. No, you rose up and you kept going, and finally you became a walker. Something happens when we become adults. We stop giving ourselves permission to fall down. If we fall down in business, we say, I guess I'm not meant to be a business owner. We must befriend our fear and give ourselves the permission to fail enough to succeed. So write that down. Give yourself permission to fail enough to succeed. So often we see super successful people and we don't ever realize or consider where they started or how many failures they had. Great dream builders do this. They fail and then they try again. TV star Oprah was fired from television by television executives. They told her that she was not fit for TV, but she rose up and kept going. Academy Award-winning movie director Steven Spielberg was rejected from the USC Film Board School 3 times, but he rose up and kept going. Disney founder Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. What if Walt Disney believed in that failure? What if he bought into the idea that he lacked imagination and had no original ideas? Then we would never have received the blessing of all the amazing Disney films or experienced the magical amusement parks. Fear and failure are prerequisites for achieving great dreams. So when the voice of doubt questions you and asks, what if you fail? Let your response be, bring it on. I might fail, but if I do, I will rise up, keep going, and I will succeed. How do we give power to the part of us that wants to move forward when we are hearing that voice that wants us to stay the same? There's a whole process to this that I take my clients through in the Dream Builder program. For our purposes today, I'm going to give you one thing you can do. Ask the question and write this down. What's one action I can take that would move me in the direction of my dream? Then take that action. Look at what you have written down as your dream. What if one action step you could take that would move you in the direction of your dream was possible? There's absolutely some action that you can take to start moving toward the life you would love. So, what is that action step for you to take today? Make sure to write down at least one action step and then put a date by when you're going to take that action. Progress is more important than perfection. So, taking even the smallest step toward your dream will make a difference. Like when Judy went looking for her house, the key is to do what you can with what you have from where you are. So, write that down. The key is to do what you can with what you have from where you are. The choices and actions you take today are ultimately who you become tomorrow. These are just 3 of the 10 steps of the Dream Builder program. Were they helpful to you? If your answer is yes, then shout out, yes. As promised, I have a gift for you, and then we'll close with a powerful thought. But first, let's quickly recap what we've covered. You learned that there's a language, a pattern of success, and when you use it, your results naturally increase. You learned principle number 1, designing your dream. You must have a blueprint of what you want in order to achieve it. And then the clearer your blueprint, the more power you have. You learn principle number 2, the power of decision. You must decide for the thing you want in the absence of knowing how, like Judy did with her home. And you learn principle number 3, befriending your fear. You see how fear and failure are prerequisites for greatness. And you must befriend your fear and shift your paradigms if you are to achieve your dreams. Here's that gift I promised you. It's a special gift for those of you who are ready to take action on your dream. I carve out some time each week for strategy sessions. These are 30-minute phone or Skype conversations where we get clear on exactly where you are, what you would love to create, and the next most important step you can take that will move you in the direction of your dream. This one-on-one session is valued at $250. But if you are ready to invest in achieving your dream, your next step is having a strategy session with me at no charge. I have 3 strategy sessions available. If you're interested, just email me later today and I can send you a sign-up sheet with the time and the date slots that I have available. Just email me if you're interested. It's Mrs. Beasley, so mrs.bee, as in the insect bee, 09@gmail.com. Or just reply to the emails that I've been sending you for the recipes. And make sure that you do that before you forget, because these sessions will fill up and they will fill up fast. So Judy once sat where you are sitting, dreaming of a home, yet knowing her $500 a month rent budget made it impossible. She never in 100 years could imagine that in a few short months she would be in a house, not a tiny apartment. In 1,000 years, Judy could never have imagined that in just 3 years, she would own that house. Yet her dream came true. She became a dream builder, and so can you. Remember, as you walk through those doors out into your life, know that what is inside of you is far greater than any challenge you're facing. And you have incredible power within you. This is your moment. Today is your day to take bold action. And know that I believe you can, and I am cheering you on. As the wise philosopher Goethe said, at the moment of commitment, the universe conspires to assist you. It's time to make the commitment and let me help you achieve your dream and to become a dream builder. Thank you very, very much.